Daniel.
You're telling me you're being a lesbian?
Listen.
Don't try it.
The moment Lisa dropped to her knees, everything changed. You could literally feel the air get sucked out of the room as Daniel's uncle, Modestus, stood there frozen, his face a mix of shock, anger, and something deeper, disappointment. Lisa wasn't just apologizing, she was begging. Her voice cracked, her hands trembling, and for a second, even the camera seemed unsure whether they should keep rolling. And if you thought this was just another dramatic scene from 90 Day Fiancé, trust me, this one hits different. But before we get into everything that went down, and the secret that nobody saw coming, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because stories like this, they only get crazier.
So here's the situation. Lisa and Daniel's relationship has already been walking on thin ice. From cultural clashes to trust issues, it's been one emotional roller coaster after another. But this moment, this wasn't just about them anymore. This was about family, respect, and reputation. And when family gets involved, especially someone like Modestus, it's never just a simple apology and move on. Now, let's rewind just a little. The tension didn't start here. It had been building for days. Lisa's past relationships, her lifestyle, and the way she carries herself had already raised serious concerns within Daniel's family. And in many cultures, especially in tight-knit families, your past doesn't stay in the past. It follows you, sits with you at the dinner table, and sometimes, it speaks louder than anything you say. Daniel had been trying to play both sides. On one hand, he loves Lisa, or at least, he believes he does. On the other hand, he knows exactly how important his family's approval is. And Modestus, he's not just some uncle. He's the voice of tradition, the protector of family values, the kind of man whose opinion can make or break everything. So when Lisa finally faced him, it wasn't just a conversation, it was a trial. And Lisa knew it, you could see it in her eyes. That mix of fear and desperation. Because this wasn't just about saving her relationship with Daniel. This was about proving she deserved to be there at all. As the conversation started, things were tense but controlled. Modestus didn't yell. He didn't need to. His calm, measured tone made everything feel even heavier. He questioned Lisa, not just about her past, but about her intentions. Why are you here? What do you really want from Daniel? Do you understand what it means to be part of this family? And Lisa tried. She really did. She explained herself, her feelings, her regrets. But every answer felt like it wasn't enough. Like she was speaking one language, and he was hearing another. And then, it happened. Lisa broke. Right there, in front of everyone, she dropped to her knees. Not for drama, not for the cameras. This felt raw, real, almost uncomfortable to watch. I'm sorry, she said, over and over again. Please forgive me. I love him. I just want a chance. And listen, whether you like Lisa or not, that moment hit people. Social media exploded. On Reddit, one user wrote, I don't even like her, but that was hard to watch. That was real pain. Another said, if you have to beg like that, maybe the relationship is already over. And that's the thing, right? We've all been there in some way. Maybe not on our knees, maybe not in front of cameras, but that feeling of wanting someone to understand you so badly, of trying to prove your worth, of hoping one apology can fix everything, it's painfully human. But here's where things get complicated. Because Modestus didn't immediately accept her apology. He just stood there, silent, and that silence, it was louder than any argument. Daniel looked torn. You could see it on his face. He wanted to step in, to defend Lisa, to say something, but he didn't. And that hesitation, fans noticed. Instagram comments were brutal. Why is Daniel just standing there? One person wrote, if you love her, say something. Another said, this isn't love. This is pressure. And honestly, they might have a point. Because love shouldn't feel like a courtroom. But at the same time, Daniel is stuck between two worlds. And no matter what he does, he's going to disappoint someone. Now here's where the tension really starts to build. Modestus finally speaks. And when he does, it's not what Lisa, or anyone, expected. He tells her that apologies are easy. Words are easy. But respect is something you show over time. And from his perspective, Lisa hasn't shown that. Ouch. You could see Lisa's face just drop. Because in that moment, it became clear, this wasn't something she could fix right away. This wasn't a quick, "I'm sorry," and move on. This was deeper. And then, he brings up her past again. Not in a judgmental way, but in a questioning way. He wants to understand. But the more he asks, the more it feels like Lisa is being pulled apart piece by piece. And here's the part that really got people talking. Because Lisa starts to defend herself. Not aggressively, but emotionally. She talks about her mistakes, her growth, her desire to change. She says she's not perfect, but she's trying. And for a second, it feels like things might shift. Like maybe, just maybe, Modestus is starting to see her as a person, not just a problem. But then Daniel drops something that changes everything. And this is the twist nobody saw coming. He admits that there are things Lisa hasn't told his family. Secrets. The room goes silent again. Lisa looks at him like she's been blindsided. Because whatever he's about to say, she didn't expect it to come from him. And neither did the audience. Reddit went wild over this moment. Why would he expose her like that? One user asked. Another said, that's betrayal. Plain and simple. And honestly, it does feel like a betrayal. Because whatever issues they had, this was supposed to be their moment to stand together. And instead, Daniel just made everything worse. Now Lisa is not just defending her past, she's defending things she thought were private. And you can see it, that shift from desperation to hurt. Because being judged is one thing. But being exposed, that hits differently. Modestus listens carefully. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't react immediately. But you can tell, this information changes how he sees everything. And Lisa, she's completely shaken. Her voice gets quieter. Her confidence fades. And for the first time, it feels like she's losing this battle. But then she says something that flips the emotional tone again. She admits that she was afraid. Afraid that if Daniel's family knew everything, they would never accept her. Afraid that her past would define her forever. Afraid that no matter what she did, it would never be enough. And that right there, that's the moment people connected with the most. Because who hasn't felt that? That fear of being judged, of not being enough, of your past coming back to haunt you. Even Instagram comments softened after that. Okay, I feel for her now, one person wrote. That's real. But here's the thing, feeling sorry for someone doesn't always change the outcome. Modestus takes a deep breath. He looks at Daniel, then at Lisa, and he says something that hits like a punch to the gut. He says that trust is broken, not just because of her past, but because of the lack of honesty. And rebuilding that, it's not easy. Lisa starts crying again, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. And somehow, that makes it even more powerful. Daniel finally steps in, but it feels too late. He tries to explain, to smooth things over, to say that they can work through it. But the damage is already done. And this is where the episode leaves us hanging. Because we don't get a clear answer. We don't know if Modestus accepts her. We don't know if Daniel chooses her fully. We don't know if this relationship can survive. All we're left with is that image. Lisa on her knees, begging, and a family that's not sure if they can ever say yes. So now I've got to ask you, was Lisa wrong for hiding parts of her past, or was she just protecting herself? And did Daniel cross a line by exposing her in front of his family? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this one is messy. And if you felt the emotion in this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because we're breaking down every shocking moment, every twist, and every truth that reality TV doesn't want you to miss.
What do you think? Comment below. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.